I was tagged in a tag video, so let's do it. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So I was tagged in a video by Cathryn at Read Journal Love called the Count Your Blessings in Books tag. And she was tagged by somebody else to do this video, so I will link Cathryn's video as well as the original creator of this tag. And before we get into this tag, I haven't really prepped for it very much, a little bit, but not very much. And so we're just gonna go with kind of my first answers. But I have to say, I am fighting a sore throat today. So I do have some iced coffee with me that hopefully, I've been drinking orange juice most of the day and now I've switched to the iced coffee. So hopefully I can get through this and still speak somewhat clearly. Okay. Question number one is, well, or item number one, I don't know. They're not really questions. Well, I guess they are. I don't know. Okay. So number one, count them one by one. Go ahead and try to count your books. Okay, so this is where I've done the prep. I've counted all my books, including the ones that I'm reading right now that are not over here. I have 316 books on these shelves. The only books I did not count are my Bibles, which you can't even see on that shelf there. Question number two is life-changing books. What are some books that changed you or profoundly impacted you in a positive way? Okay, so first answer, it's easy. The Bible. This has impacted me and changed my life. Well, I don't know. I've grown up and became a Christian. Like I grew up in a Christian household, became a Christian, followed, and this is kind of the study, right? The guide for how you live. So even in the very front of my Bible, it says, let me take out all this. So I've had this Bible a long time, okay? I was given this by my parents when I entered Bible college the first year when I graduated high school, right after high school. So I've had this a long time. As you can see, it's got tape on it inside, like it's a little beaten up, but it's used. Okay, but right inside here, I don't know how well you can see that, probably not at all. This is something that I don't know, I heard, I don't know how long ago exactly, but it's an acronym for the Bible. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. B-I-B-L-E. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. And that's what the Bible is. It is an instruction guide of how to live the life. So this has impacted my life. Now, I read majority of fiction books. I do not read a ton of nonfiction. I read some, but not a ton. So when I go on the other side, things that have impacted my life, I think of the book Heart on the Line by Karen Whitmire. Before I read this book, I did not read historical fiction at all. I read this book and now I read a lot of historical fiction. I fell in love with the book, the time period, the setting, like just everything, the writing style, everything about this book. It's like, oh, I need to pick up more historical. And since then, I read a lot of historical. I wouldn't even want to guess what the number is exactly. I was book shopping yesterday with my mom at a thrift store, or a couple of thrift stores, and every single book I looked at was historical. Now, I mean, I saw a lot of romantic suspense and other contemporary stuff, but the ones I'd seen, I'd already read, or I already own. So it was historical that I ended up picking up. But I mean, I would have never looked at historical until I read that book, Heart on the Line by Karen Whitmire, which I do not own a physical copy of that book. Yeah, that needs to be fixed someday because that's impacted me. Other books that have impacted me. This is a Bible study Becoming a Woman of Beauty, Becoming a Woman of Beauty and Strength. It's a study on Esther by Elizabeth George. This is an older book. They're very rare to find in print anymore. But from this, I have discovered that I really enjoy Bible studies done this way. It's like a 15-minute Bible study. So instead of the little devotionals, this is what I use for my daily Bible study, Bible devotion, is these type of books. So I have done the Esther study a couple times through, but you'll notice, like, I do not write. Like, there are sections I do not write in the books because that way I can use them over and over. And I have quite a few of these. They're on the shelf there. I don't have all of them. I would like to get all of them someday, but as I said, a lot aren't in print anymore. But yeah, that has impacted me because it's discovered how I like to study and learn the Bible. I am very much, I need questions, like look up this verse, give me an answer. What does this verse tell you? Yeah. So that has impacted me because it's shown me how I like to study the Bible. I think those are going to be my answers. Okay, number 3, special editions. What are some editions and copies that you really love? Could be first editions, a special edition, cloth, hardback, leather-bound, signed, or is there a book that is very valuable to you for sentimental reasons? Okay, so let's start with special editions or just copies that I really enjoy or like. The one I think of it automatically is this one. It's Anne of the Island by Ellen Montgomery. This one I found at a library swaps last fall I think it was. Basically, it wasn't a library sale, it was a swap. You went in, you donated some books, and you could walk away with whatever. So basically, you left a book, you took a book. And I found this one there. And this one was printed in 1915. It is over 100 years old. And like there's no writing in it. Like it's beautiful. I love it. I wish it was Anne of Green Gables, but I can't complain. So this is one, like a special edition that I think of. Some other books are special to me for sentimental reasons. This is a Bible. So this one was presented to my dad when he was, says presented to Neil on advancement from primary to upper school. There's actually no date in it of when he was presented it. But, I mean, he was going from primary to upper school. This is in England. And, there's little pieces of paper in it, like just little, I don't know. That's funny. There's tape in it. My Bible has tape in it. Oh, that's funny. But my dad was born in 1948. So if he was going from primary to upper, this would be 1950 something. And it was something that my dad had. And then I got it, and it does kind of have a little smell to it. Little musty. It's a little old. But there is nowhere where it actually has a date. But that is sentimental. Because my dad is no longer with us. So this is sentimental for me. And speaking of my father, are these all from him? Yes, these are all from him. So these are all different books that he had over the years. So my dad was a woodworker originally, before he became a pastor. And again, this one was presented to him in 1963. It's the Woodworker's Pocket Guide. And we have bus tickets. Oh, that's funny. for the bus, I guess, in England. So yeah, 1963 is when he got this book. And is this one 1958 and 59? He got this one given to him for regular attendance at church. And Around the World in 80 Days, he got given in 1963. Again, for regular attendance in church in 1963. And the last one in 1956. So yeah, these are all sentimental to me for that reason. Then I got this one, Harry's Holidays, which was presented to my grandfather, so my dad's dad, in 1919. So this is another one that is sentimental to me because my grandfather is no longer around either. Then I do have a book from my mother that was given to her, or she had as a kid, but my mom is still around. But when I was like, I need these, right? Like, I need something. I have my dad's side, I need something for my mom. So I have one for my mom. But the other one I thought of was one that was given to me when we went over to England to go visit my grandparents, because both my parents are from England originally, so my grandparents both were in England until they passed away. And I've got this Griffin Savers Oxford Dictionary. This is a dictionary I was given when I opened a British bank account, so that my grandparents could put money into it for me, I think is what it was. But I would have been, well, does this even have a date in it? So this one says 1984 is when this edition was created. But my mom seems to think we opened that bank account when I might have been 5 years old. And then I got this one. I think that's what she told me. So yeah, that's another one that's kind of sentimental to me, but I mean, it's a dictionary I don't use. Who even uses dictionaries nowadays, right? But yeah, so that is sentimental to me. My mom has a dictionary that she has had all through, like basically her whole life, all through primary school in England, so elementary school. And in the front of the dictionary, it has every single address that she's ever lived at. And I'm like, that's like, I've already said to my brother, I want that from my mom. It's got to add to my antique book collection. I need that book. Don't know if my brother cares that I want it, but all just gets right. It's right. I don't know. So yeah, so those are just some sentimental books that are on my shelves. Okay. Number 4, gifted books. Books you love that others have gifted to you. Okay, so I'm thinking of books I've read, so I'm going to go in the fiction, thinking of books that I read that have been gifted to me, that I absolutely loved. And I was so excited when I got it, or I was so excited when I read it, and so happy. Well, I mean, I was excited when I got it, but then I was excited when I read it and loved it. Okay, so let's go to my red shelf, which is the middle, which you don't always see because I sit right in front of it. Should solve that, right? The first one, No Ocean Too Wide by Carrie Taransky. This one was gifted to me by my best friend Christine for starting my YouTube channel and having a real subscriber, so somebody I didn't know. And I had already read this book at the time, but I had not read book 2, and I really wanted to reread this book so that I could read book 2, because when I read this book, book 2 had not been released. I love this book. Both times I read it, I love it. If somebody asked me one of my favorite books, this is one that I most likely mention. And it's historical fiction. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, this is one that was gifted to me that I just love, and I'm so glad to have on my shelves. Okay, another book that was gifted to me, Aftermath by Terry Blackstock. Again, I'd already read this at one point, but I loved it, and I collect Terry Blackstock books, so I had to have it on my shelf. And this was gifted to me by a subscriber, so by one of you, so thank you. And I have reread it since I received this book, and I still love it just as much as I did the first time. And I still, all these books, I still have the gift notes in them because I love them. The last book is Across the Blue by Carrie Taransky. I read this book initially from the library. I borrowed it from the library, read it, absolutely loved it. And then my best friend was at a yard sale and saw it there, so she picked it up for me and then sent it to me. I was like, thank you. And I love this book. So I have not read this exact edition since I received it because I had just read the one from the library. But I loved it. I needed to have it on my shelves. I was so excited when I received it. So those are 3 that have been gifted to me that are 5-star reads. And funny enough, this is another historical fiction. Okay. So number 5 is The Blessings of a Book. How has reading benefited you in your life? Emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Okay, how has reading benefited me? Well, I read that reading 6 minutes a day helps improve your mental state. Just 6 minutes a day. Well, I make sure I do more than 6 minutes a day, so I have a great mental state. I don't know about that. You know, I go through the same as everybody else, up and downs, great days, bad days, right? So, okay. But basically, reading helps me just relax. Just kind of, in a way, check out from real life for a few minutes, half an hour, whatever, and just let me put my own concerns aside and focus on what I'm reading. And it just kind of recharges me, ready for what comes next, whatever task I have to do next, right? And so that is one way. It relaxes and just helps me. And even though I read majority of fiction books, it has helped me, I would say, emotionally and knowledge-wise. Knowledgely, that's not a word. I've learned words that I had no idea what they were. So I've improved my smarts. I don't know. I've learned about moments in history that I had no idea about. I mean, I went to school. I took history in high school. Did not take it in college. It wasn't part of my degree. But I still had no idea on certain things. I'm constantly learning. And because I read a lot of faith-based, like Christian fiction, I have learned a lot about Christ as well. Or like discovered new aspects. And I'm like, oh, I never thought about that verse that way. Right? Like, I really think I have grown intellectually. That's the word I was looking for. And yeah, I really think I have learned more through reading. And I've learned about things I never knew about. And that has how reading has helped me in my life. Or even just seeing the way a certain character reacts to a certain situation. And I'm like, I do not want to react that way. And so then it's made me aware of how am I going to react. Or please, or it could be, wow, I really like the way they react to that. Can I react like that next time? If something similar happens to me, can I react the same way? And it's made me think about that. And so that has how reading has helped. Very much. So to me, I think it doesn't matter really what you read to a certain extent. I do believe in not reading language-filled books. Positive, putting positive thoughts into your body so that positive thoughts come out. I really believe in that. Okay, number 6. Friends, the greatest blessing. Do you have real life friends that love to talk books with you? Like in life. Do you have in real life friends who love to talk books with you? Give them a shout out. I only have a few, but a few is great. I have my BFF, Christine, who we read very similar on the suspense side. She's not so much into the historical as I am. And she reads a lot more contemporary romance type stuff. I think it's contemporary or maybe women's fiction. I don't know. And that I'm not really big into. But other than that, like, we still talk about it a lot. I mean, she edits all my videos for me, so she hears all my thoughts, whether she wants to hear them or not. But even without the videos, even just talking on the phone, we talk about books quite a bit. What we've read, we're constantly recommending different books to each other. And yeah, so I have her. Then I have my mom, who, again, we do not agree on all the books we read. Again, suspense is where we do agree. Romance books, no. She is not into any like contemporary romance, historical romance, that kind of stuff. Now, if it's like a historical fiction without the romance, we agree on that. But yeah. But we do read very similar otherwise, especially in the suspense, because if I love a suspense book, most likely she's going to enjoy it as well. And so we do talk books quite regularly. We go book shopping together. We switch books back and forth. I actually had to wait to get some books back from her before I could film a video because she had some of the books I wanted to talk about. So yes, we do talk books. And then we have a couple friends who we hang out with quite a bit. So me and my husband hang out with this husband and wife couple, and me and the wife do talk books. Again, we do not read a lot of the same books, but there's a couple we do, and so we will loan back books back and forth. More, she's loaning me books more than I'm loaning her books, but yes. So yes, I do have a few, and it is so nice to have that connection with somebody. I love going book shopping with another person and be like, you need to read that book. You need to read that book. You need to read that book. Because, especially in a thrift store, a lot of times, oh, I've read that one. I've read that one. Yeah. So, yeah, I do. But I know this isn't a question, but I'm going to put it there, is I love the BookTube community. And especially the Christian fiction BookTube community, because that's what I read majority of. And kind of we chat on Instagram, some of us, every once in a while, back and forth in different videos, and constantly recommending books or adding new books to my TBR through that community. And I'm sure you're kind of the same way with that. Okay, so speaking of BookTube channels, the last thing is to tag some people. So I want to tag Amanda from Book Lover Amanda, because I have to tag her. Because, as I said, when I received this book from my BFF Christine for my first real subscriber, that first real subscriber was Amanda. And so I've been following her for a while, and when she liked my channel and subscribed, I was so excited. So I have to tag her in this video, because she has been a huge blessing to me. And the next one is Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails. Because again, she has been a huge blessing to me, a huge inspiration, and I have to tag her. And then the third person I want to tag is Tammy from Protagonist Pub. Again, I really enjoy watching, and she's fairly new, I would say. Maybe 6 months, 8 months. I could be mistaken on that, because it could be I just didn't discover her, maybe. But yeah, I just enjoy watching her talk about them, and she has mentioned me before, so yes, I want to tag her. So those are the 3 people that I'm tagging. They will be tagged below. As I said, I will tag the original person that tagged me. So that's Cathryn from Read Journal Love. And I hope you check out all these channels. And thank you for watching this video today. And I hope you're blessed. Bye.